So now what we want to do is to configure our own MUSHRA test with our own audio files. But first, let's understand here the structure of our files. We create this DB folder, and here we will have the results of the webMUSHRA experiments. We have a folder here for the pyMUSHRA. This is a default folder from Google Colab. Here we have the webMUSHRA directory, and inside configs we have here these files, and this is how we create our listening test. So we will create one of these files and we'll set it up the way we want, and we have a subfolder for resources where we can put our audio files. Just for the sake of creating our own MUSHRA, I'm going to use some audio files that I am taking from the Torch Audio dataset yes and no. So there are many files. I can easily import Torch Audio, and then when I put this flag download through, it will download here this yes and no, and also create these waves yes and no, and we have many audio files. What we need to do, we need to respect this structure, and we need to move or copy these audio files to the resources audio subfolder, and this is what I did. So I'm taking 4 audio files from the waves yes and no folder and moving here, and I'm doing this using this shutil copy. So I'm listing all the wave files that are in this directory. I'm just using 4 of them, and then I'm copying to here, and they are living here now. The test configuration files, they live here, and we can simply take a look at one. So for example, this MUSHRA no loop. So we have here a test name, a test ID, some parameters, we add some pages, and this is how we can create our MUSHRA tests or other types of tests. And you'll find a documentation here on the GitHub of the Audio Labs, where there is a experimenter's manual, and there is the documentation on how we can create these configuration files, the types of pages that we have. So we have a consent page, a MUSHRA page, a BS1116 page, which is according to ITUR recommendation. We have a paired compared page, a finished page. I recommend to first let's create a test based on one of the examples here, and we can change some things. So here in the configs, I will create a new file. I will call it my new test file. I will copy the contents of this file to my new test, and here it will be a test config MUSHRA page. I will not display a waveform. It will be, let's put our 4 files plus 1 anchor, so maybe 5 conditions. Let's turn looping on. So here it will be my MUSHRA with looping. The test ID will be MUSHRA with loop. Let's call it 5. I will not change the buffer size. What I'm going to do is to set the stop on arrows to false, because the way this is configured, all the audio files must have the same length and the same number of samples. If your audio files have different size and different lengths, it will throw an error and we will shut down the application. So I will put stop errors to false. I want to show the button to a previous page. Okay. And this remote service, there is a PHP file that will write the results on a certain folder. So you can have also a CSV file with your results, not only the JSON file that it generates. This should work in your local machine. Unfortunately, in the Google Colab environment, this remote service, I didn't manage to make it work. We have certain limitations when using Google Colab, especially in what we can do in the system. So there is a page, and this page will be a MUSHRA test. I will call it trial my MUSHRA. This will be my ID. It will be the name mono trial my MUSHRA. I don't want to show the waveform, so I'll set it to false. I want that this sound keeps looping when I play it, so I'll set it to true. The reference, we need to choose a file for a reference. So let's choose this one here. We can copy the path, and this will be our reference. So I will set the 7 kilohertz anchor to true, and here we will put all the stimuli. So I'll put these other files here, one condition, the other condition, and the last one. So I will delete this here, and this I'll put. This is my test description, listen and enjoy. Then there will be a page that when you finish, it will say thank you for attending. I will not display the results this time, and I will want to write the results. So my new test is ready. We configured everything, and you find here in the documentation everything what you can set up. So you can have a start page that is a generic page with some instructions, and for example you have a complete example that there is a generic page, and there are another generic page with different tests, and we have some MUSHRA tests we can set to randomize every time we run the test. There are many things here you can set up, so you can base this complete and change what you like and use it as an example. So we are ready to run our test. So I'll do the same thing. I will create a new tunneling, then I will start the server. I will go to this page. I will show experiments, and here it should be somewhere my new test. I'll run my new test. So I have the 5 conditions. One of them is an anchor, so I can play
lo, can, lo, can, lo.
Loop is on, so
Can,
it will keep looping.
can, can. Can,
I can set up the values.
Can.
And then this is my description. Listen and enjoy. This is the mono trial my MUSHRA with looping. I'm happy with the results. I click next. Thank you for attending. Send the results, and your results were sent, and I'm not displaying the results just like we configured in the configuration file. So I can stop my server. I will kill my ngrok tunneling, and now we want to take a look on the results, for example.